Hi guys, Jackie from Famished Farm. Welcome to Northwest Alabama. We're going to be about 65 degrees today. This is beginning of March, and I'm using my friend's rototiller to dig up this hedgerow. It's going to be about 150 feet long, including this roughly 10 linear feet in this dirt pile. This has also been used for grass clippings, things that will end up either filling holes in the yard or into the compost. And this area has a big pile of somewhat compacted dirt that I'm going to try to level out. I'm just trying to give it a nice fluff up here first, and then I'll come back in later and shovel it a little flatter. We're going to use about 5 of the hedge plants in this area to the back, and that will be to fill in if we have any that don't come up. We can just move them over to the hedgerow. This whole project came about last year. We decided that we wanted to try to minimize the overspray from the farmer next door. He farms conventionally, and I'd like to keep that off my vegetable plants as much as possible. And I did try to do some sacrificial planting last year around this time of year. And unfortunately, the herbicide got those. So we're hoping privets are pretty hardy. We're hoping that we can get these to a certain size before any herbicide will take them out. I also contacted this particular farmer by letter. We don't know who the people are, and I haven't received any type of response yet, but I'm hoping that we'll at least have some consideration of when they spray it. Hopefully, the wind's not blowing this way, but that all remains to be seen. So, we're just trying to be proactive from our end of things and take care of the problem as much as we can. So, I'm about to make the turn here and head down along the fence line. I'll make about 4 passes each direction, and it's about 140-ish feet down to the fire pit area. And we're going to plant these 3 feet apart and hope to have good coverage. The 50 plants we got from Green Thumb's garden in Middle Tennessee, they arrived beautifully packaged and have been sitting in our cold utility room just waiting to go in today. But first, we're going to move to our dogwoods, our line of dogwoods that face the road. We have decided that we're going to pull these up. We just planted them in the fall. We're going to pull them up and put them over on the side yard. Rod really likes to be able to mow this area fast, and so he'd rather not have the obstacles of the trees to mow around in this area. He'd rather have it over on the side where he already takes a while to mow anyway. He has to go a little slower over there. So we're just going to simply pull our little tree guide up, the little white flexible thing that actually makes him able to see it when he's mowing. And I've got a piece of rebar. And then I just picked up, I had a little bit of mulch around the bottom of the tree. And we'll simply do about shovel about 3 different stabs of the ground there. And these come right up beautifully. These dogwoods are doing pretty well. They're starting to bud out nicely, and I'll show you that a little bit later. These came also from a YouTube ad for TN Nursery. They arrived also beautifully, but we did get those in the ground in the fall. I actually ordered the ones from Green Thumb before these dogwoods, but uh, the Green Thumb plants didn't arrive till this really late winter. So I'm going to use my tape measure to space these out. I've done a rough estimate here of the length, and I'm doing a little more than 80 feet. So there'll be a dogwood every 20 feet. And that is going to go in line with the bald cypress that you can see in the distance, the tree all the way to the right. And we're going to till that the same way as we did the 150 feet up in the corner of the property. We'll till it, run that, I don't know, we ran it back and forth a lot of different times. And then we'll rake out the bigger grass and weeds that we can get out of there before replanting everything. And then we're just going to reverse the process we just did. Dig the hole, put the plant in, put the tree guard back on, and put the piece of rebar on the top of it. I am planning on mulching this, and I'll put some cardboard down. Rod is going to help me with that. But today we're just going to plant. This is on a Saturday, and tomorrow afternoon we'll come back in and start mulching. And my back is always happy when we only encounter small rocks. Today, I think I threw two baseball sized rocks over toward the field, the fence line there, and everything else was pretty easy digging. So now we'll take back up our tape measure, get that stored away, and then we'll rake everything that's left into the center, and you'll see we'll have some still have some big clumps of weeds, and we'll just try to make some piles along the side that I'll come back in with a wheelbarrow and pick up later. This is Rod's first experience really with creating a bed from scratch. I wouldn't say it's his favorite thing, but in a couple years when these trees get up in height and start putting on a pretty show in the spring, I think he'll appreciate the work that it took today to get this done. In my gardening career, I started out with my parents' garden that would have been black, loamy, so beautiful Illinois soil. Then down in Florida, we went to, just the sandy, very sandy soil. In fact, it looked like almost sugar sand in some places. And then now we're to the Alabama clay soil. So each each type of soil has its own pluses and minuses, and we're learning slowly how to deal with this clay. So all of our little tidbits are piled up to be picked up tomorrow with the wheelbarrow. And as we take the tiller back up to the house, we'll take that through once or twice more. You'll see I'm hitting lots of roots in this area as the tiller swings back and forth. Here I am finishing up leveling out in our dirt pile to make room for these privets. The privets are stacked here neatly, ready to go. And again, this is 50 North Privet hedge plants, and they're up to 2 feet tall. It was really a nice bundle of privets. And here in the dirt pile, I'm not going to measure anything. I'm just going to do two along each side and one in the corner. And again, that's our kind of insurance plants in case anything dies along the main part of the row. Here along the stacked wood fence, I am going to use my metal ruler here to keep these spaced evenly. Now, as I get to the other end toward the fire pit, there's a lot more trees, so I have to kind of adjust for tree roots in that area. But all in all, this process goes pretty quickly. The spacing's the easy thing. The digging through the roots is not easy. Now, this bundle of 50 was actually more like 56 plants. So I did have to bring the tiller out and do a little bit more room of the tilled bed to fit all those plants in. And here we begin the planting. So simply, we're digging. These holes are about 3 times the size of the root balls, and then we're backfilling. I put a little bit of organic fertilizer on the top. That step was not recommended nor needed on this particular day, but we're going to go ahead and do that anyway. You'll see I'm using my shovel as far as spacing from the fence. That's how I'm judging how close to go to the fence. Here you can see I'm battling a not too thick of a root. Unfortunately, I didn't have my pruners with me, so I had to whack at it with my spade. And this is the point where my back begins to complain. I'm only about a quarter of the way done planting these privets, and it's turning out to be a long day. I muddled through this, but this particular point was kind of a low point. Lots of roots on this end. This particular hole was much more generously sized than most of them that I've been digging this day, but that'll be good for the plant in the long run. So here we're just gonna slowly but surely make our way up to the end. And I do change the spacing as I get close to the stacked wood fence. It doesn't go out quite as far. So there is a little jog in the hedge. This is the next day. So this is Sunday afternoon, and we've gotten a load of cardboard from our local appliance store. And we do end up making 2 trips. Rod went the first time and he brought back like 3 boxes. So he didn't know I was thinking about doing the 150 feet too. So we do end up having to go get more cardboard. But it's nice to have that store very close by. And we're just using some sale mulch that we got at Home Depot. This is a brown dyed mulch, which I prefer. I know there's some debate about whether you should use the dyed mulches, but I just really like the look of this. I'm also wondering if I'm going to need to stake this cardboard down. This is just kind of a flat area out here in front. I'm not sure how this is going to do with our wind, but we will see. Now, as I'm going by this planter, I decide to go ahead and trim it back. It's a little early for that here to clean out our winter beds, but I am going to just take a shot at these. We don't have any freezing temperatures over the next 2 weeks, so I think we'll be okay. This is mainly liriopea and some canna lilies, a couple hydrangeas, and something else. Can't think of, oh, a couple hostas I put in last year. So here we're back. We had to go get more mulch. We've got enough cardboard now to finish all the way down. This is our finished 80 feet of dogwoods, 5 white flowering dogwoods, which hopefully we'll start getting blooms on in the next couple years. So here's a question for you guys. How do you keep straighter edges on your borders? This is not pretty if you look at it from this direction. From the driveway end of things, it looks beautiful. As you can see here, as we make the turn, it looks much better. But if you have any suggestions for that, how to keep a nice straight edge on your flower beds, let me know. And then I'm going to back up here and you'll see the bald cypress that's next in line. The quarter on the right of the tree is the side that gets the herbicide drift. So it's quite a trooper to survive that every year. Just beyond that is the planter that I cleaned out. This planter is not one we made, it's one that was already here. We have added hydrangea and some hostas to it, but all in all, it's a pretty nice planter. Could use some more lava rock, but all in all, it's quite striking when those canna lilies come up. And if I'm completely honest, this is the first time that I've cleaned this out totally. I've never cut back the liriopea, and that really needed to be cut back the first year we moved in. So it's not beautiful, but it will be beautiful in a couple months. And then here is the plantings of the North Privet hedge with some sweet gum pods. And honestly, I'm just leaning toward brown mulch for that area too. These are really healthy. Look at this growth just waiting to start. Yeah, these are going to grow like over 3 feet a year. So I'm looking forward to this. Just beautiful. And I'm going to back up. And if you look far in the distance, you can see my little compost area back there. That's actually the dirt pile way back past the stumps there on the left in the van. And here's the notorious field, which is actually beautiful. It's been planted twice in cotton and then once in sweet corn. I think they're due for sweet corn this year, unless they do something totally different. But we do enjoy being next to that beautiful field when it's green. I'm a farm kid, so I couldn't be in any better spot unless I had goats and sheep and chicken and some cows and some horses. Oh, here's another one of our little privet hedge starts. This one was broke off. You can't really see it, but I think it's going to be just fine. There's 2 little growth nodules right there on the ends, so I think we're going to be great. And this will just give you a little view of all the bare root starts here as I walk up this hedgerow toward the corner of the lot. Most of them are multi-branched, so I was pretty impressed with the quality, and we'll see if we get these all started. Here's the tag that came from Green Thumbs and the view up to the corner. And my beautiful stacked wood fence along the right here. So this little bump out here is to give my lilac that has been hit with the herbicide drip the last 2 years. It's stunted, but I think it's going to be okay. Got some good growth going on there. And then the last little view up into the corner and my dirt pile. And you can see I still have some raking to do to even this all out and get the dirt back into the hedgerow. But all in all, pretty happy. So if any of those die, we've got some extras that we can slot in. And I'm just thrilled. I just hope this works. And I think it'll be nice from noise from the road, privacy, although we're pretty private out here. There's not a lot of, it's very private out here, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm thrilled to have that project done. We obviously, Rod doesn't want to mulch this, but I really do want to mulch it. The mulch down on that end was just the sweet gum pods that we had so many of them that came down after the store, but it only did about 20 feet. So that's not enough to do all the way down. I would mulch it to this point right here where the end of the stacked wood fence is. And then this can be for grass, dirt, whatever. Great project to have done. Can't wait for these all to come up. And thanks for being here, guys.